Hey guys, how you doing? Today is January 28th, and yesterday Visa issued her 2022 first quarter performance. Um, it means a lot to me. All right, it means a lot to me because in the past 1 year, a lot of readers is questioning why you still holding Visa. I still have this stock. I hold this stock for a few years already. Sadly, this stock in 2021, the performance is only 4%, not 40, not 14, it's 4%. And in 2021, a lot of stocks soars up, right, like 40%, something even like 100%. And then a lot of people that saying that no one use Visa already, right? Why? Because a lot of digital payment tools rise up, like PayPal, Square, right? And like a lot of instant payment tools within different country. So the reader is saying that why are you still holding MasterCard and Visa card, right? They will lose the market quickly. But let's look at the first quarter of 2022. The performance of Visa is terrific. It's terrific. So I take this topic as do not listen to the market noises. Well, I know that the market is still falling. In this week, when the market opens, once it opens, it soars up. And then at the end of after the closing bell, right before the closing bell, and then it turns negative. I know that. It's because the selling forces is still huge, right? But this doesn't affect me because I'm not just following the stock prices. I look at performance, right? You can only look at the performance, no other way. Visa is quite a solid story to tell. We will go into that when we reach that page, right? So do not listen to the market noises. Visa is still good, right? And because the market keep dropping, so our Falcon portfolios performance dropped to 68%, but it doesn't affect me. I nearly owned more than 90% of the stock in the portfolio. Doesn't matter to me because I will follow the performance. I follow the performance, not the stock prices. The stock value can tumble 76% in one night. And it can rise more than 20% in one night. Remember Lululemon? One night it rose at how much? 40 US dollar. 40 US dollar. So, but it will sooner or later close to the intrinsic value or the profit of the company. I don't know when, but within 1 year. So the market now in US is a little bit not reasonable, right? But this unreasonable won't be long. Maybe 1 year, maybe 6 months, maybe 2 months. I don't know, right? I don't know, but it will every stock. A lot of people is asking me, does the Dow Jones or the Nasdaq hit the bottom? I want to buy the stock. I want to take at the dip. Then my reply always like that. You want to buy the stock, right? You are not going to buy the index, right? So why are you asking this? You should focus on the stock. What you should ask is, does the stock price take the dip? Not the index. You're not going to buy the index unless you want to buy the index, right? And how can you judge on if a stock, reasonable or unreasonable, drops to the dip that you can buy? It always depends on the performance. If not, then what else you can depends on, right? So this is what it is. So if let's go into the Visa performance after some news, right? So if any one of you want me to analyze on any stock, you can leave your comment under the YouTube, or you can directly email to me by Usstock marketweekly@gmail.com. Honestly, I tell you, seems now the sell side get the upper hand, right? Seems the sell side get the upper hand, but don't lose your confidence. Don't lose your confidence. This is normal. It happens in the US stock. I think it's twice. It is once for to 2 or 3 years. You can look at the past history, right? But when you look at the past history, it seems something not related to you if you do not have the stock. But if you bought the stock, then it's matter, right? It make you very nervous. It make you feel sad. Then you always look at the stock prices. Oh, when it goes up, you're happy. When it goes down, then you're sad. So don't do like that, right? It's a free market. They can sell and you can buy. Now the sell side get the upper hand, but it won't be long. But it will not be for long, right? Let us go into the headline first, right? Some headlines then I want to discuss with you. So Falcon, 350,000 portfolio. I have all those stock. All those stock I have, right? So it does not matter to me. Right now becomes 68, and then you can see the Nasdaq performance is 72%, and this year we dropped at 12%, but now it's unreasonable. You can see yesterday Apple's performance, wow, terrific, but it still drops a bit, right? It shows it's now unreasonable. So why you waste time to talk with people unreasonable, right? This is our cover. So do not listen to market noises. You should be able to distinguish what is a noises and what is an advice, right? And advice is back up. And advice is back up with data. Noises is just wild guessing. No experience, nothing. Just guess, pure guess. So advice is with experience and data. So yesterday Dow Jones, it's been for 1 week already. The Dow Jones opens high and then gradually drop and then drops more. But it also happened in Monday. It dropped a lot and then it rises back. So it's no point for you to do any forecast or any guessing. It's just a wild guess. Right now is unreasonable. You don't know it. But seems from this week, right? Today is Friday already. From this week, the sell side got the upper hand, but it doesn't matter. It won't be for long, right? And then Nasdaq, nearly the same. Yesterday, when the market opened, right, it rise up more than how many? 300 points, something like that. And then it gradually drops down and then bounce a little bit and then further drops, right? Everyone is worrying about the GDP being eaten up by the inflation in the state, right? So you can see yesterday for the fourth quarter of United States, the GDP rose 6.9% in Q4. It's quite a good result because the consensus is 5.5% only. And yesterday, Apple announced the Q4 result, and then this is Tim Cook's, right? And then he is saying everybody is seeing inflationary pressure, right? I will comment on the Apple performance in Hong Kong's program, right? But 1 month before, the inflation rate in US is 7.3, and then 2 months before, it dropped to 6.9, and then in December it dropped to 6.8. right? It dropped at 0 point something. Then we hope that it will gradually slow down, right? Then it's good to everybody, right? So don't be sad so quick, right? Because from lockdown to reopen in United States, and then to Europe, Asia, excluding Hong Kong, forget about it, right? Excluding Hong Kong, excluding China, right? And then it takes some time. It takes time. They are not doing in the same time, but it will be. So I think after 1/4 more, then the inflation of United States will be much better, right? And then Europe, despite still the high Omicron spread, then it will back to reality at last, right? That's what it is. This is yesterday's news, right? So let us talk about Visa. I remember I read some stories about Warren Buffett many years before. And then he said, when he was very young, when he wanted to buy a stock, he always, at many years before, he bought a stock when the price dropped to very low, unexceptionally low. Then what he did is he go out to the street and then ask the merchant, ask the people, will you still use that company? Will you continue to use the service? What makes you still use the service? He asked it. He of course he was not famous at the time. And then he asked maybe 1 or 2 days, 3 days, then he make the decision. So it's same to Visa. A lot of readers, why you not just sell Visa stock, right? This is old fashioned. No one use it anymore. And then to me, I never heard of any news said that there is less people want to continue with Visa. Never. All my friends still using Visa. And it's not, the business is not so good. It's because of the lockdown. The people cannot go out, so they can't use the Visa, right? So I have to admire that a lot of digital payments nowadays, like PayPal, right? Like Square, cryptocurrency, right? Or like we have WhatsApp payment in Hong Kong. Then we have a lot of Kakao payment in Korea, a lot of digital payment like Stone in India, right? In Brazil, right? So many digital payment in different countries, all right? But does it mean that the people not using Visa when they need to do a cross-border purchase? No. They still use it. The point is just the lockdown. When the countries then they start to reopen, then Visa gets better and better, right? So let's see the performance of Visa in 2022, the first quarter. Then, unfortunately, in last year, the stock value increment, the stock price of Visa in 2021 only increased 4% with very poor dividend, about 0.73%. It's because of the lockdown. It's not because of Visa's performance. So let's remember, Visa's PE now is 44, right? And then you can see Visa, it dropped it in this downward trend, right? From end of December. It dropped it from 252 to 206 yesterday. That means about 40% already. 20% already, right? 20%. It dropped it not as much as the other stock, because it not rise too much in 2021, right? So this is the first quarter of 2022. I always look at non-GAAP. I don't want to count for the equity. I don't want to count for the property. I don't want to count for any investment, just the Visa business. So you can see the net revenue increased by 24%, right? And then return the blah, 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 blah. So we go into the details. So you can see the net revenue increased year over year, right? It compared it with 1 year before, 24%. Quite good, right? But remember, we always said that the earning, the net income, must be at least in the same percentage of the net revenue income. Higher is better, right? But at least should be the same. So you can see the non-GAAP net income is 25%, in line with the net revenue. So it is a pass, right? So we go down to the key business drivers. What makes me happy is the cross-border volume, excluding Europe. Excluding Europe, right, is 50%, 51%, right? And then if including Europe is 40%, that means Europe still not reopened completely, but it will be, right? And the processed transaction increased to 21%, and the total payment value it deal with is 20% increment. Happy, right? And I want you to take a look on the red bar, right? Take a look at the red bar is the international transaction revenue. This is a very critical one for Visa, because a lot of people using Visa is for cross-border, right? So you can see the international transaction revenue increased 50%, right? Quite all right. And the net revenue increased 24%, we talked before. And then the total operating expense only increased 16%. That means it can control the expenditure. When the business is not very good, then maybe Visa can use less people, right? So to reduce the transaction cost, to reduce the fixed expense. And you can see the operating income increased 28% as well. And how about the net income? And the net income increased 25%, sorry, 25%. So we're happy about that, right? We're happy about that. And I have made a summary for you. The cash Visa has is 14.72 billion US dollar, of course. The long-term debt is 45.7 billion. So the yearly payback, roughly calculated, is 6.8 billion US dollar. And the yearly net income is 13.14 billion. So her finance is healthy at this time, right? So every time you have to calculate this. I know this is annoying. This is very annoying. But when in a downward trend, the commentator or the investment bank, they will judge a company to see if they can hang in to pass the hard time. If she doesn't have enough cash, she may tumble down, or she may issue more shares. So the share price will tumble down, everything. So every time you have to take, no matter how rough, how much it has the cash, long-term debt, and the yearly income. If, and only if, no cash. But the yearly payback is huge, much more than the cash it has, then you should not buy that. You should not buy the company, right? Or the cash flow is negative, you should not buy the company. Because when the market goes to the downward trend, then this company maybe cannot survive. That's the reason why every time I do this, I know this is very annoying, right? Very boring. So I have roughly calculated. So in order to see if the management or the business is healthy or not, you have to work out the net income or net profit rate. Net profit rate. So you can see if that company is operating healthy. So very clear, I have worked it out for you, right? So from 2020, last season, and then one season totally, there is 5 seasons, right? At the end of 2020, that means nearly more than 1 year before, still there is pandemic, and then there is no vaccine come out, right? So at the time, she is still keeping the net profit rate 55%, 55%, right? Because it can reduce the fixed expenditure, right? So this is what her advantage. And then it gradually decreased because at the time, United States still not reopened. So you can see the net profit rate going down. 54.96 goes down to 52.8 and then goes down to 43.6%, right? And then after that, United States reopened. So it rised up in 54.6%, and then now is the net profit goes back to 56%. 56% for net profit is very high. So it's recovering. What we can predict is after Europe is reopened, it doesn't matter for China because China doesn't use visa, right? Doesn't matter for China. So when a lot of countries like Europe completely reopen, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Australia, then visa business will back to normal, right? So this is what we can analyze on the data. So always follow the data. It's very easy for you to treat. It is a market noise or an advice is you need to see if it is an experience to back up or the data to back up. If no, then it's just a wild guess. While you're addicted to a wild guess, right? A lot of people addicted to wild guess. They always listen to market noises, and then they sell out the stock, right? Some people even sell out Apple because of shortage of the material. So this is crazy, right? But some people did, right? Not us, right? So I quickly analyze on Visa. So I will still hold it, right? I will still hold this company. Okay, so today we share up to here, and then thanks for watching. Please help me to press the subscribe and then press the bell icon next to it. So whenever there is a new video uploaded, YouTube will inform you immediately. Okay, thanks for watching, and let's see next week, right? Next Friday. Chinese Lunar New Year is coming in a few days, but it does not affect the next Friday's program, right? Because next Friday is after the holiday and it's back to normal in Hong Kong, right? So thanks for watching. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.